Welcome back to Dr. Smith's Secrets to Healing, which airs every Tuesday evening, 9:30 to 10 p.m. on Time Warner Cable Community Access Channel 6. I'm Dr. Smith, host of Dr. Smith's Secrets to Healing. I have a PhD in clinical nutrition. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I am a board-certified clinical nutritionist and a certified dietitian, nutritionist, and Canadian chartered herbalist. I'm owner of Advanced Clinical Nutrition in Wichita Falls, Texas, which was founded in 1981. Now, before the break, I was sharing information about vaccinations, specifically because there's a national widespread concern right now on the swine flu. One lady on my blog said that somebody thought it was the wine flu. And I told them, I said, well, taking a vaccination for a wine flu to me makes as much sense as taking it for the swine flu. But before I continue with the rest of my blog post, I wanted to insert here some responses that I've already received from my posting. This one is from Dr. Mohammed Afzal. He has a PhD in engineering management, and he wrote, I had a flu shot only once in my life, and that was the only winter that I had a lot of flu again and again and again. So remember my statement just before the break. When you are getting a vaccination, you're actually giving yourself the disease for which you're taking the vaccination from. And if your immune system is not strong enough and you have a state of malnutrition going on within your body, you cannot develop the antibodies for which you need to counter that particular vaccination, much less if you get exposed to the germ itself from a family member or friend or when you're at school or whatever. Over the past 30 years, I cannot tell you how many times I've heard clients and friends tell me that they've had more flu after a vaccination than they ever did before. So I want you to do your own research on the statistics of how many people get the flu from flu shots and how many people actually die from vaccinations of all kinds. Now, the second point that I shared on my blog, it's called Ask Dr. Donna. That's what it is. That's the name of my blog. I had a second thought come in when I was trying to say that, and my second thought is to tell you that at the end of the show, I'll give you the address for my blog if you'd like to go and read this and any comments. I established my blog only a couple of months ago, so I don't have a lot of people knowing about it yet, but I would love it if you would give me your comments. Now, the second point that I'm making on my blog was keeping my immune system, my body strong and healthy is my best defense against swine flu or any kind of flu or germ. It is a sound principle to keep my environment sanitary. Remember, I shared earlier in the show that research shows that poor sanitation and malnutrition are the two major causes of all epidemic diseases, and it is the cause of all diseases other than injury or like a chemical poisoning or something like that. So number one is my goal is to keep my environment clean, to get rid of clutter, to keep my home, my yards, my garage clean on a weekly to monthly basis instead of just when company's coming. And I also stopped using products that contain chemicals to clean my body, my hair, my skin, my teeth, as well as to clean the linens and laundry in my home or the furnishings in my home or office. Because there are many factors that are always trying to compromise my nutritional health state on an ongoing basis, I monitor and correct my vitamin deficiencies to keep my immune system strong through periodic clinical nutrition analysis, in other words, testing of my nutritional biochemistry. And some of the factors that compromise my nutritional health state are when exposed to pollution in my air, food, and water. Now, I have air purifiers in my home, but once I walk out that door, I have no control over the air that I'm breathing. I have a reverse osmosis purifier in my home, so all the water that I drink and all the water that I cook with is pure. However, whenever I go out to eat and have a margarita, if I'm going to put poisons in my body, I'm going to choose what poison it's going to be. Or if I decide to be a little bit more nicer to myself and have a glass of wine, I have no control over the water that's been used for that. So there are times when you're going to get chemicals into your system, even though you do your best to keep your environment and your diet as clean and healthy as possible. There's also mental and emotion stressors. I mean, sometimes I can be a workaholic, and not get my sleep. Or sometimes I may under-exercise and sometimes I may over-exercise. All of these have an effect on my nutritional state. I also complete a whole food and herbal full body detoxification cleanse 1 to 2 times a year so that I can do some internal spring cleaning. I clean out my liver, my gallbladder, my kidneys, my bladder, my lymphatic systems, my small and large intestines. And doing this once or twice a year helps clean out all of these things, all these poisons that come into my system or get on my skin or I breathe through my nose when I'm in situations where I have no control over them, or whenever I choose to just be human and do something like have my margarita. Okay, now, in other words, I'm trying to say here, what you want to do is improve your state of improve your state of malnutrition. If you do that, you won't attract the germs for which you are considering vaccination. To read about how you attract germs into your body, yes, even parasites of swine, and what the purpose of germs and worms and other parasites are in our world, you can go to my website and read my article on parasites. The address of my website is advanced with a D, ADVANCED, clinicalnutrition.com. Just click on the articles by Dr. Smith and scroll down and you'll find my library. Every other month or so I'm adding more articles to that library. Now this is what I do on an ongoing basis, and I've been doing that since 1981. I've been sharing how to do this with my clients and providing the vitamin deficiency testing and the lifestyle consultations and designing the therapeutic whole food programs so that I can help other people do the same. Now the third point of sharing on my blog is what do I do instead of having a vaccination? Well, in an acute attack, I will use some very specific homeopathics, herbs, and whole food vitamins or minerals. So what if I suddenly get attacked by a germ? I have on hand at all times these homeopathics, herbs, and whole food vitamins, whatever I need for prevention and whatever I need to deal with emergency situations. For example, the minute I get a scratch or tickle at the back of my throat, I have a specific herbal throat spray that I spray right on where I felt that scratch or tickle. And by hitting that with that spray immediately, those herbs will actually digest that germ and keep the germ from going into my tissue. Now, if for some reason I did not feel the initial attack or exposure to a germ so that I could immediately use my spray, and I've taken in the germ, and then at 3 o'clock in the morning I wake up and I have a runny nose or cough or ache or something like, or my head or my chest is congested, which are the usual symptoms of germ exposure, I have very effective and safe therapeutic homeopathics and herbs that I will take, and within 24 hours I'm better. And within 2 to 3 days I'm back to normal. I and my family have been doing this since 1974, and I've been coaching clients in how to do this since 1991.